Hello, my name is Larry Lewis, President and Founder of Flying Blind LLC, and welcome to another installment to our new YouTube channel. Very excited to be here today and have lots of good stuff to talk to you about. Have a new product that we want to chat about today. The product's been around almost for about a year, but it hasn't been until the last couple of months that my company has been really very directly involved with A, me using the product, B, me endorsing the product, and C, me reselling the product. So very excited to be showing you this new product I have in my hands today. Before we get to what the product is, for those of you who know me, you know that in order for me to really get behind the product, it has to, first and foremost, work well. It has to be very robust technologically. It also has to be very flexible, allowing you to do as many things as possible. And thirdly, it has to be easy on the pocketbook. I know that costs are a big deal no matter who we are in this economy and so forth. So I am very much interested in products that not only work well, are flexible, but products that in the scheme of things are very cost effective and very competitive in this market. In my hands here, and for those of you who are visually impaired who are tuning into this video, I'll try to be as descriptive as I can. In my hands here is a case, and in this case is a product made by a company up north called Firmware. I'm sure many of you have heard of Firmware. They're based out of Canada, out of Montreal. This is the newest of Firmware's Braille Display offerings, and it's a fantastic product. It's a product that I am 100% behind. Now, before I get into why I'm 100% behind this product, I know that many of you have seen me use and work with other Braille displays in the past. Some Braille displays are small, some Braille displays are very inexpensive, and this video is by no means an affront on any of those sorts of products, because I do believe in versatility, flexibility, portability, all that jazz. But at the end of the day, there are some occasions, there are many occasions, where I and other users like myself need to use products that maybe give us a little bit more Braille than other sorts of products that are out there, other fantastic products that are very cost effective. So what I want to focus on today are devices that are primarily used, Braille devices that are primarily used for accessing things like a laptop or a netbook or a Macintosh computer or an iPad and the like. And this product, the Brailliant, is wonderful. It is probably, as far as from a design standpoint, a very robust design. I'm going to walk through all the different parts and pieces with you before we show the Brailliant in action. So I'll lay it down here. For those of you who can't see, I'm going to point out what I'm describing to the individuals who are vision impaired. If I start at the front edge of the Brailliant, I'll just tip it up here so you can catch this. We have what are called thumb keys. They're 4 rectangular buttons along the front of the display, and Firmware has always had a long-standing history with these thumb keys in their devices, such as their note takers and other Braille displays that they've represented over the years and so forth. What these thumb keys allow me to do, for those of you who are not quite maybe believers in thumb keys, what they allow me to do is to keep my hands on the Braille display, and my fingers, my thumbs, just anatomically drop to the front of the display so that I can move forward, backwards, up and down throughout specific applications without taking my hands off the Braille display. We then have our Braille display. In this case, we have the Brailliant by 32, which means it's 32 cells across. Roughly about an 8.5-inch piece of paper, a line that you would see on an 8.5-inch piece of embossed Braille paper, from about here to here where my fingers are. There is a Brailliant 40, which is a couple more inches longer, and that would be more along the lines of an 11-inch line. I'm not going to be focusing on the Brailliant 80 today, but there is also an 80-cell model, which is a little less portable or a little less flexible. It's more or less designed for individuals using a workstation all day, like a call center or reservations agent or what have you. We're going to be focusing primarily on the 32 and the 40 functionality of the Brailliant. Okay? So we have our Braille display, where the Braille, mechanical refreshable Braille cells refresh as we move through different applications. Along each side of the Braille display, we have 3 buttons. Buttons 1, 2, and 3, and on the right, buttons 4, 5, and 6. These buttons can be used to navigate, but they can also be used if we press certain buttons in conjunction. Think in terms of a Braille character or a Braille cell. We have dots 1, 2, and 3 on our left, dots 4, 5, and 6 on our right, and we can actually use these keys at the end of the Braille display to basically initiate Braille commands, and I'll get into that as we use the product. We have routing cursors, or touch routing cursors behind our Braille display. This makes it possible for me to find my cursor, click on my cursor using one of the switches that correspond to where my cursor's at, and actually do a number of things that pretty much simulate left mouse clicks and so forth. Up here, we have our Braille keys, dots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we also have dots 7 and 8. And what I forgot to mention directly in front of our Braille displays is we have 2 space bars. So we can do a number of things from entering text, and we can also do things as it relates to different sorts of chording commands using our space bars and these Braille keys. Okay? I'm going to turn this on. You've heard a small beep. And what I have now is I have HumanWare Brailliant by 32. That's BI 32 for 32 cells. Not sure where the buy came from. I'm assuming it's because it can work across multiple operating systems and so forth. But that is just an educated guess. What I can do now is I'm automatically in a menu where I can use my outer 2 thumb keys to move up and down, up to the left, down through a specific menu. And I can check things like my battery status, which is the first option. Battery level is 96%. My next option is channel is auto. That means I can connect via Bluetooth or USB. We'll talk about that in a minute. My serial number, my firmware update, or my firmware I should say, auto power. I have this turned off, but you can set this to turn your unit off after 15 minutes of not being used and so forth. I also have USB charge on, which means when I'm connected to my USB port, I can connect to my computer and charge it, or to a USB device like that and charge it. I have my Bluetooth name, my Bluetooth pin, which is all ones. You can change that, 1111. I have my protocol and some other odds and ends here. Okay? So this is primarily the Brailliant. On the right side, you have an on-off button moving from back to front. Sorry, I said that backwards. From closer to me to away from me, I have my on-off button and my USB port. USB, for me, now granted, when you're in a corporate situation, you may need to be hardwired or whatever, but I don't do a lot of wires. I'm very clumsy. It's very easy for me to get tangled up in wires, so we're not going to do much with the USB today. We are going to do a whole lot with Bluetooth. Okay? Before we switch and show this in action, I showed you the Brailliant case before that it comes with. I would highly recommend that you, if you decide to invest in this great technology, go with the accessory, the Brailliant case, which does not come with it, but you can also order this through Flying Blind and so forth. This is very classy and very functional. It's a leather case. It's got some snaps in it to keep it secure. Of course, I'm not the most graceful putting it in the case. That's all right, we'll get it done. It's a nice snug fit. We'll get this fitted over here. There we go. Almost. I knew there was a reason why I should not have taken this out beforehand, but I wanted everybody to get a good view of this. So this is the Brailliant when it's in the accessory case. For the 32 cell unit is $90 extra. For the 40 cell unit is $95. The reason why I like this case is in real life situations when I'm using this product, I hang this around my neck. I go old school with this around my neck like a note taker. And you can't see this because my table and belly is in the way. But if I were standing, which I can do, I have this here. I'm able to control devices like iPads and iPhones and computers and actually read information off of the Braille display, give PowerPoint presentations and the like. And this is how I like to use the product. So this case is way more functional than the case that comes with the unit, and it is an accessory, and we'll talk more about that at the end. What I'm going to do now is we're going to go from classic to contemporary. I'm going to show this little netbook. Set this in front of the Brailliant. Connecting to the Brailliant. A few things you need to keep in mind. Make sure we've got power here. I've got this little Dell Latitude netbook here. In my fingers, for those of you who can see, I've got a little tiny mini Belkin USB adapter in case your computer does not have built-in Bluetooth. Some do, some don't. The ones that do, maybe they don't always have the greatest Bluetooth stack built in. I'm a big believer, especially with how small this is, in using this little Belkin adapter. Because I just think the Belkin Bluetooth stack connects to many different things very well and so forth. So I want to show basically how to set this up. All that I've done, and we'll get a shot of this in action, so we'll just have a little bit different view for those of you who can see. We have the laptop, the Braille display, and the first thing that I need to do is I'm putting this on a fresh laptop, connecting this to a fresh laptop so you can see how easy it is. I'm using JAWS 13. We do have drivers for Windows System Access, NVDA, Dolphin, HAL, Supernova, all your major screen readers that are out there. I'm just going to show this very quickly with JAWS. We need to establish a connection. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to search for a Bluetooth device. I'm not going to say every keystroke, but basically going up to my Bluetooth, find Bluetooth devices, and I'm going to Shift F10 or right mouse click. I'm going to go to Add a Device and search for this.
Available devices, new items, new list box, read only items, new list box, other. Brailliant by 3200.
Very nice. Brailliant by 32 shows up. I'm going to select that.
Tab, next button, enter,
Go to next.
cancel button.
I'm going to be prompted for a PIN.
Installing device driver software, click here for status, close button.
At least I thought I was. That's
Your
very
device is
weird.
ready to use. Device driver software installed successfully. Tab, devices and printers link.
Very strange. Normally that asks me for a pairing code.
Shift tab, close button.
And I just rebuilt this laptop.
Shift tab, devices.
I have no idea why that didn't happen.
Folder view list view, unselected computer.
Anyway, the surprises of live video streaming, I
Windows
guess.
10. Tab, start button, tab, notification, shed.
So, what I'm going to do next is find my Brailliant.
Custom, HD, Bluetooth devices.
Go into Bluetooth devices, go to right mouse click on this again.
Send a button, receive a button, show Bluetooth devices.
Show Bluetooth devices. I'm going to select enter on that.
Limit menus, Windows Explorer. Items view list box, read only. Items view multi-select list box. Devices open. Brailliant by 32000673. Tab, desktop, split, shift tab, items view, Brailliant by.
Now what I'm going to do is just check to see what COM port this is on by just pressing Alt Enter to go into my properties.
Remember, Brailliant by 32000673 properties dialog. The view tasks for the tab, hardware page, shift tab, hardware tab. General tab. JAWS of East, Brailliant by General tab, Brailliant by device information, menu, badge, model, the category, description, device tasks, group box, the view tasks, devices and printers. OK button, cancel button, easy.
Just hopping over to my COM
Hardware,
ports.
services tab. Hardware tab. JAWS of East, Brailliant by General, Brailliant by device functions. Name better, stand device functions, standard serial over, Bluetooth, link COM, forwards COM.
Okay, so I'm on COM 4. That's very important for when I actually connect to JAWS
Easy.
here.
Escape devices and printers. Shift
I
F10.
believe-
Context menu. Create short properties.
So
Escape.
I think
Escape.
we're good to go. That's very strange. I thought we were going to pair up.
Windows 10. Desktop. Folder view list.
I'm just going to quickly go into JAWS and make sure that Brailliant is picked. Actually, before I do that, let me just show you. I've got a shortcut to the Brailliant software on my desktop.
The Brailliant by Tools X.
Brailliant by Tools. You can download that from the Humanware site.
Brailliant by Tools installation dialog. This tool installs the Brailliant by USB driver.
There's three things we can do here. We can install our USB driver, which I've already done, and you should do that before you connect it to your PC.
Tab. Install Brailliant by driver for JAWS 10 or later button.
And then we have Brailliant driver for JAWS that you need to install for versions 10 and later.
Tab. Update Brailliant by firmware button.
And something that's very cool about this device is it's very easy to update the firmware. All you have to do is connect to a USB cable, and if you watch my fingers, if you find these little buttons to the left and the right of the Braille display that I talked about earlier, if you press buttons 1, 3, and 5, which is a Braille U, you'll automatically put the Braille display into update mode, and then you can just initiate looking to see what your firmware is, if there's any later firmware, and just update the firmware to your Brailliant. So it's very intuitive, keeping in step with all of HumanWare's products that are very, very simple and easy to use, yet very powerful. So I'll get out of this because we pretty much have everything set up.
Step 4.
I'm going to go into
JAWS
JAWS.
context, utilities, options, sub-enter, basic, voices, sub-menu.
I'm going to go down to Braille.
Enter, menu bar, limit menus, Braille basic settings dialog. The active Braille display is bonus Brailliant by
I have Brailliant by sign. I'm just going to check in my settings to make sure COM4 is picked.
Tab, modify settings, enter. Set options for the Braille tab, OK, Shift tab, select the output port and combo, USB. COM5, COM4.
I'm going to select COM4, which is our USB port.
Tab, OK button, enter. JAWS dialog, you must now restart tab.
Yes, we have to
Enter,
restart
Braille
JAWS
tab,
to make
show
that
Braille
work.
Tab, translate tab, add Braille tab, advanced tab, OK, enter.
So let's unload JAWS.
With JAWS dialog, are you sure you enter?
And we'll go back and we'll reload JAWS. It takes a minute just to reload. What I have this set up to do is basically, there we go. I see HumanWare Braille display has gone away. And now I can actually control this PC simply by using the different keys on my Braille display. I can use things like dots 1, 4, 5 to minimize my apps or go to my desktop. Brings me up to my desktop. Now what I can do, if I want, I can also do lots of different things. I can go to my start menu.
Window list dialog, running application.
I can open up my task list.
Minimize.
Get out of here. Just press space E to get out of here.
Escape. JAWS. Raw.
Oops, sorry about that.
Link.
And so go back to my desktop.
Desktop. Folder view list view. JAWS 13. Internet Explorer.
I just pressed the letter I to go to Internet Explorer. Now what I can do once I'm ready to do that is I can use my dot 8 to actually select that.
iTunes. Internet Explorer.
Open up the internet. And basically, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I have my Braille keys up here for all of my keyboard equivalents.
Facebook. The tab page.
Very dangerous getting on my Facebook account. But we'll go ahead and we'll do that.
Facebook. Same page, link search. Link JAWS.
And so I'm able
Virtual
to,
PC.
basically able to switch cursors, basically able to just use all sorts of mnemonics and so forth to accomplish everything that I would want, mnemonic type of keystrokes on the Braille display, so that I don't have to go back to my laptop, back to here. In real life situations when I'm using PowerPoint and those sorts of things, it becomes very telling because I can mute speech, I can show slides, I can turn slides, I can give a presentation to a predominantly sighted audience in a similar fashion to my sighted peers, and that is really a big deal for me, and one of the big things that we tout at Flying Blind is we really get behind technology that makes it possible for us to compete with our sighted peers and so forth.
Menu bar.
Just press the space M for my menu, and then I can use my thumb keys and so forth to move up, to move down, and so forth.
Limit menus. Facebook, Windows, Informatics. Menu bar. Context menu. Use app control.
I just chord dot 4 and chord dot 1 to move up and down. Exit.
Menu bar. Limit menus.
I just clicked on exit with my routing cursor to get out of there and so forth. And that, in a nutshell, I don't want to get into all the ins and outs. You have to understand Braille with your screen reader in order to really make this sing. I use JAWS quite a bit. There's great drivers for Window Eyes and Dolphin and all the other screen readers out there. But you really have to have an understanding with what your Braille functionality is within your screen reader. I know that I can write grade 2 Braille through JAWS using this. I know I can read and write grade 2 Braille. I know I can get around very quickly and so forth. But you have to have a great understanding of your screen reader. And if you don't, no Braille display that you buy will help you as much as it can. Okay. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I'm going to get this desktop out of the way. Told you we were going to go from classic to contemporary. Laptops and computers are great, for sure. But we all know that these tablets and phones and such are starting to take over, kind of, which is not a bad thing. So I'm going to get this iPad out, iPad 3. Show you how easy it is to set up the Brailliant 532 with the iPad. Incidentally, Flying Blind has nothing to do with these little guys, these little speakers right here. This is a speaker called Wowee that you can buy on Amazon.com. Fantastic for the price, $49, and the bass on them, the battery life on them for what they are is really great. Again, Amazon is not paying me to say that. So all I did was cut down the laptop, get it out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. I'm turning on my iPad, and I've got my Brailliant turned on.
Voiceover on, 256.
And what I'm going to do is unlock
Tuesday,
this,
August
slow it
7th.
down a little bit.
Slide to unlock. Messages. Calendar. Tuesday, 45%, 40%, 35%, 40, 50, 60%. Volume. Speech rate, 55, 40,
I'm going to slow down my speech rate.
20%.
I'm using VoiceOver on an iPad 3.
15%. Volume, 85, 90%, 95%.
And there we go. So this is not a video on how to use VoiceOver. I'm going to assume that everybody knows that VoiceOver is Apple's built-in screen reading access for all of its iOS devices, down to the iPod, all the way up to the Macintosh. So we have an iPad 3 here for demonstration purposes so that you folks can follow along. To pair this up, it's very similar to pairing up any Braille display. As you know, VoiceOver supports about 20 different Braille displays out there. Actually, probably more than that.
Count reminders.
Get the volume
No,
just right on
map,
this.
video, YouTube, iTunes.
There we go.
Apps, game
I'm going to go to
center,
settings, double tap on settings.
Settings.
Get into VoiceOver.
Locations or brightness and picture frame selected. General. Button selected.
Going into general, hop down to VoiceOver.
General. About. Software usage. Sound. Network. Bluetooth. iTunes. Spot auto. Pass. Used. Selected. Bullet pinch. Bullets. Update keyboard. Accessibility. Reset. Button. Accessibility. Reset. Accessibility.
My fingers aren't working right
Settings.
today,
Vision.
that's for sure.
VoiceOver. Zoom. Off.
Go into VoiceOver application by double tapping.
Zoom. Off. VoiceOver. On.
And I'm going to go over to Braille.
Speaking rate, typing, use pitch
I'm right
change.
clicking over
On.
to VoiceOver or to Braille.
Use a Braille button.
I'm going to double tap on Braille. If Bluetooth is not on, it will tell me it needs to turn it on.
8 dots tab, choose a searching, dimmed.
I'm going over to choose a Braille device.
3, 2, 0, 0, 0, 6, 7,
And it
3.
found my Brailliant.
Not paired button.
I'm going to double tap on this, and what's great about how the Brailliant has been included or incorporated into VoiceOver is typically you have to enter in a pairing code to pair up your Braille display using the touch keyboard. The VoiceOver Brailliant relationship, you pretty much have to recognize that it wants to pair and double tap on OK. So it eliminates a little bit of stress when you set up the Brailliant to work with VoiceOver.
In progress, Brailliant BI.
Double tap.
3, 2, Brailliant BI. 3, 2, 0, 0, 0, 6, 7, 3. Pairing. Alert.
A little dialog's going to pop up.
3, 2, 0, 0, 0, 6, 7, 3. Would like to pair with your iPad. Confirm that the PIN code 804264 is shown on Brailliant BI. 3. Confirm that the PIN code Cancel. Button. Pair.
I'm going to
Button.
click on pair.
90%. 85%. Cancel. Pair. Button. Settings.
So I double tapped on pair.
32000673. Connecting. Button. Selected. Brailliant BI.
I'll just stop that from speaking. So what happened was it basically compared the
More
different...
info. Brailliant BI. 320.
There we go. So all that happened was it confirmed that this was the Brailliant that wanted to connect, or that we wanted to connect to, just by me double tapping on OK. And this makes it a little bit easier than having to enter in a PIN code or what have you. So I'm just going to now use, if you watch my hands, not even touch the screen anymore. I'm going to hit space dots 1, 2, 3
Settings.
to go back up to the top here. Hit space B for back. Get back out of here a little bit. You can use either the keys on the ends of the Braille display that do things like H for home, B for back, all the universal commands, S for settings. Or if you want to keep your hands on the buttons that you can write with, you can hit space bar with that. So I'm going to hit space for home.
Settings.
Then get back out of here.
New Facebook camera. Page 1. Dot. Mail. Photos.
I'm basically
Safari.
going to go to Safari, and I'm going to reach down on Safari and click my routing button here. Right above Safari on the
Safari.
Braille display to open up Safari.
Back.
And
Date.
I'm gonna go
Folder.
here.
Utilities. Address. Go to this address.
So what I'm going to do is click my routing button here.
Address. Text field. Is editing.
And
Go
we'll
to this
give
address.
Humanware a little bit of play, their website. Why not? Since there's nothing open in Safari. So I'm going to type www.humanware.
Humanware.
Of course, it would help if I could spell.
Space. Address. 10%.
So I'm loading humanware.com. Now what I can do,
36%.
it's giving me my status for downloading. I'm at 36%.
54%.
54%. A lot of people must be on my network right now.
67%. 72%. 75%. Stop. Button. Google. Search some new tab.
Just going to skip past this. Hopefully the Humanware site will open up. Move it a little bit slow. Typically it would be open. Not sure
Skip to
why it is.
content.
There we go.
Vertical line.
So now what I can do is I can change my settings to navigate by links.
Containers. Characters. Words. Lines. Headings. Links.
We'll navigate by headings.
Testimonials. William B. Lofsky. Featured promotion. Victor Reader Street Solutions for Find the Right Prop by. Heading Card. Head Products. Heading About. Heading Level 4.
Go to-
Products.
Go to
Heading
products
Level
here.
4.
And now what we'll do is
Bullet.
move through product.
Blindness Products. Link.
We'll go into blindness
Blindness
products.
Products. Link.
I'm just clicking with my touch cursor over blindness products.
Skip to content. Books. News and keyword or
I'm just skipping
accessibility.
around very
Small,
fast.
Large fonts. Bird. My
Using
card.
space dot 4, or I could use my thumb keys
Blindness
if I
from
wanted.
age, cataracts, leading symptoms. Heading level 5.
So I could use my outer thumb keys to move by my rotor settings if I wanted to.
A leading cause of cataracts, age-related back blindness products. Vision loss can be caused in this a leading cause of vision symptoms. Bullet. An inability to ripple age. Bullet. Bullet. Excessive bullet. Eye top. Diabetic elite. With routine eye examine risk fact. Bullet. Back. Button. Forward. Links.
I'm going to move my links.
I'm
just skipping through by links.
Intel register, Victor Reader, unpronounced, Braille, talking GPS, unpronounceable, lit, Braille displays.
There we go, that's what I wanted.
Braille displays. Link.
Opening up my Braille displays link.
Unpronounceable, lit, unpronounceable, link, back, in small, medium,
And I'm just skipping through
USA
this.
products, unpronounced, Intel, unpronounced, Braille mode. Link, unpronounced Braille displays, unpronounced talking G, unscreen, unpronounced Braille embossers and learning disability, deaf product presentations, User store, funding resource, Brailliant, more information,
Here we go.
Brailliant B80, new generation. Link.
Brailliant
Image.
B80?
More information, Brailliant BI32, new generation.
There we go.
Brailliant BI32, new generation. Link. Image.
So I just clicked on the Brailliant link on my Braille display, and that opens it up instead of tapping the screen with Voiceover. You get the idea. How do I use this in day-to-day life? Reading books, surfing the internet, checking email are probably the top 3 things that I do with my iPad, with my Brailliant, and so forth. Again, it's very easy to use, very comfortable to use. You have your input keys, space bar,
Reader
these
available.
keys right here.
2,
Get back out
0,
of here.
0. Safari.
And we're back out of here. So again, just wanted to show you how easy that is to set up, how easy it is to move around. Very efficient way of accessing a touch screen and so forth. So to wrap this video, we talk about probably the only most uncomfortable thing to talk about with any presentation like this. How much does it cost? So as I said, I focus and my company focuses very much on the 32 and the 40. We do sell 80s in situations where there's a workstation situation where somebody's going to be tied to a workstation all day. But in the case of 32 and 40s, we can access a PC, access a Macintosh, access an iPhone, access whatever we want in a very flexible, comfortable, portable scenario here. The list price of the 32 is $2,595. The list price of the 40 is $2,995, and that does not include shipping and handling. What I am offering for the month of August 2012 is anybody who has suffered through this video for this long, if you order the Brailliant 32 or the Brailliant by 40 through Flying Blind LLC, we will throw in one of these cases, one of these leather cases that I like way better than the case it comes with. It's a very well-made case. It does not come with the product. It's valued at $90 extra on the 32 and $95 extra on the 40. So if you have listened to this video, and I saved this for the end for those of you who actually do, you can, and if you are in the market for a Braille display, you can purchase this, and we will throw in, up until August 31st, we will throw in one of these cases absolutely for free, valued at $90 to $95, okay? It's a great little offer just for us to say thanks for checking out our YouTube channel, especially for those of you who are in the market for getting a new Braille display and so forth. It is a fantastic option for you if you are. If you are a user who's dealing with laptops, portable notebooks, tablets, iPads, those sorts of things, iPods, iPhones, whatever, this is a very flexible product that when it's, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off right now so I don't start making my iPad go crazy. This folds up just like this. This fits in my briefcase with my laptop, my iDevice, and whatever. It goes with me everywhere I go, protects it, not going to slam it around too much, keeps it from getting scratched up. You're spending this kind of money anyway. You don't necessarily want to have your unit looking all scratched up. It's got some nice, for those of you who I didn't mention this earlier, we have nice little silver tones on the end of the Braille. It's a very nice black, professional looking device. We want to keep it looking that way with a decent case. You do have a protector cover, a case that I showed at the beginning of the video. Go with this case. This case is an amazing complement to this device. So that is what I wanted to talk to you about today, what I wanted to show today. I hope you got a lot out of the video. We actually did not have any serious technical difficulties or anything, so I'm very happy about how it turned out. If you have any questions about the Brailliant by 32, Brailliant by 40, or the Brailliant 80, you can call Flying Blind LLC at country code +1 216-381-8107. You can also email Brailliant, BRAILLIANT, at flying, F as in Frank, LYING-blind.com. That's Brailliant at flying-blind.com. We'll answer all your questions. Flying Blind accepts all major forms of payment from PayPal, to all your major credit cards, and we also accept bank checks and so forth. We'll work with you as much as we can to make it a very easy process for you, get you your product right away, and get you rolling with an absolutely tremendous option for all of your computing needs. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Larry Lewis, Flying Blind LLC. Have a great rest of your summer.